Hello, my beautiful bookish friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am bringing to you guys my August TBR and a Ruger coming over because there is literal cannon fire happening near my house. Like, I don't know why it's happening, but it is, and he's kind of freaking out. So we're just gonna make a little space for him to chill. Oh, he's going back over there. He may come back, I don't know. But if you hear big loud explosions, it's cool. I have no idea what's happening. So today I'm bringing you guys my August TBR. And with that, I'm participating in a readathon. So let's talk about that first. I'm doing the Enneagramathon. I heard about it from Kirsten's Corner. I'll leave her video linked down below so you guys can hear a little bit more about it, because I'm just going to talk about the challenges that I'm participating in. But basically, her and a bunch of other YouTube creators who do booktube content have created an Enneagramathon where you take your Enneagram number and follow the challenges that they have assigned to you based on that. So my number is 8 wing 9, I think is how you say it. So my main number is 8. So for me, the prompts are a coming of age book, a book with a revolution, an action-packed book, and then a buddy read book. The buddy read for the 8 is Love is a Revolution. I don't have that book, so I'm not doing the buddy read for mine, but you can select any of the buddy read books and it will go towards your team. Basically, there's a Discord that they are doing and a Google Sheet that you fill in every time you finish a book according to your challenge, and that goes towards points on your team, and you're competing against the other types. So yeah, it's kind of a lot. She explains it a lot better because each prompt is a point, but if you do another group's prompts after you finish your own, it's worth 2 times the points, but you're not allowed to double up on any of the books. So it's from August 1st through the 13th, which is a lot of time to read all of them. So basically my whole TBR is based around this readathon and also my theme of the month, which is Witchy reads. So now that I've given you a very long-winded explanation of what's happening, let's talk about the books that I'm reading for the readathon. So the first prompt is a coming of age book. And my coming of age book that I decided to grab is My Eyes Are Up Here by Laura Zimmerman. This one, let's see. People are shooting off fireworks. So if you hear things, that's what it is. This is all about a girl named Greer Walsh. This is all about a girl who has she has really big boobs, and that's all people notice about her in her high school. That's all they look at when they talk to her. Like, that's all boys pay attention to. That's like people's only like character trait they assign to her is like, oh, you have big boobs. So, you know, whatever. I think that this is going to be a really interesting book. Some of the blurbs on the back are like, sometimes you want to strangle her, other times you want to hug her, which I think we all want to do to ourselves, looking back on our high school lives. So just navigating all of that while also trying to figure out, you know, accepting your body and not being seen as just a piece of meat because people sexualize your body. So I think it's going to be a really good book. It's a very personal book to me. I went through the same struggles in high school, middle school, developing early kind of thing. So I'm interested to read it and see if I like it. And yeah, my mom actually saw this book in Barnes & Noble and said I should get it, so I did. So I'm finally gonna read it. For my book with a revolution, I'm going to be reading Lore by Alexandra Bracken. This book is all about the Greek gods. Every 7 years, Greek gods are sent down and have to live on Earth and be hunted by humans because good Lord, they made Zeus mad, essentially. So they are brought down, and the tagline on the back is, you may deny the fates, but they will not deny you. Fighting them will not save you from what is ahead. And it has Medusa on it, so I'm assuming Medusa is involved somehow. People say it's epic from start to finish. I think it's gorgeous. I think this is the Barnes & Noble edition, the white one. I don't quite remember. But there's like, I think it's all set in New York. But this has been on my anticipated read list for a while now, and there is a revolution in this because one of the gods is basically trying to overthrow Zeus so that they can stay in power and not have to be sent down every 7 years. Other than that, I don't know a whole lot about it. I think it'll be really fun to read, and adds a little dose of fantasy to my witchy read month. Next, we have pick an action-packed book. Either one, or actually lore probably could work for that one too, but like I said, there's no doubles, so I'm going with Black Widow Forever Read. Now, I was hesitant to put this on my TBR because I have not watched the Black Widow movie yet, but this came out in 2016, so I think it is completely separate from the Black Widow movie, which is great. I don't think it'll ruin anything, and from reading on the back, it should be fine. This is all about, obviously, Natasha, but she is worried that her teacher from the Red Room, which is where she was trained to be an assassin, is alive and basically rearing their ugly head and trying to reestablish the Red Room, and bring it back to its former glory of when she was there. And then there's also a girl who is a teenager whose life has been anything but average. She's the daughter of a missing Russian quantum physicist, and Ava has been subject to experiments, but now she's placed under the protection of S.H.I.E.L.D. and Natasha. So there is a whole lot going on in this book. It is quite lengthy. I did find it on Hoopla for in audio for free. But then there is also in the back, there's a comic called Red Widow First Strike. So I have a feeling that has something to do with maybe Ava. And then there's Black Widow Red Vengeance. That is the second book in this. So this is actually a series that I didn't know about until I kind of just came upon this one day. I didn't hear like really anything about this book, so I'm very interested to read it and see if I like it and want to continue getting not only Marvel comics but Marvel books. So now let's talk about the rest of my TBR. Some of these do fit some of the prompts from other groups books lists. However, I don't have them like perfectly outfitted into other prompts, so I'll just read you some of the prompts that I'm looking to fulfill from other groups. There's a book with an even number of pages, a 5-star prediction, a dark and twisty read, a female protagonist, been on your TBR forever, a hyped up book, and a genre/trope that you love. So I definitely have one that's been on my TBR forever that I want to put into it, and that is The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. This book was so hyped up and a lot of people liked it. Some people didn't. I know the second book a lot of people were kind of iffy on, which is The Night Country. However, this is a witchy book that I have had on my TBR forever. I think we've talked about it before, and I really want to get to it finally. This is all about a 17-year-old girl and her mother going to her grandmother's estate now that her grandmother has passed away, and they basically figure out that her grandmother was a witch. And so it kind of all goes down her learning her family roots. I think she kind of figures out that she's a witch, and things like that. So I'm interested to finally get to it. And also this cover is just stunning. So I'm very excited to get to this, and I'll fulfill that challenge, which will be worth 2 points if I get to it in the time frame. The next book, I don't know that you can consider it witchy, but it's definitely a horror book, and that is The Suffering by Ren Chapaco. I read The Girl from the Well in June and really liked it, and quite honestly, I'm so excited to get to the sequel. I won't talk too much about it because it will be a spoiler, but this is just basically following the boy from the first book and the spirit from the first book, and this one comes with your Audible subscription, so and so does The Girl from the Well if you guys want to listen to them. However, I am very excited to see where this goes. This was a super quick listen for me. These are only like a few hours on audio. They're really great, and this is actually Ren Chapaco's first duology. So if I finish this, I finish the series, which is all part of my reading goal this year. Next, I have a book that I've really wanted to get to and honestly kind of forgot that I had until I was looking for books for this month's TBR and knew I wanted to put it on here. It's not really witchy, but it's definitely dark and kind of spooky, which is how I'm feeling. I know it's August, however, when am I not feeling dark and spooky? Hello. So it is the strange case of the Alchemist daughter. I'm sorry I keep jumping, but these fireworks are driving me nuts. But it's by Theodora Goss, and this is basically the daughters of Dr. Frankenstein. There's some last names in here that I don't know who they go to, but Sherlock Holmes, Dr. Watson, Mary Jekyll. It's basically a retelling of what happens after Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's the daughters of famous horror novel characters. And I know there's breaking of the fourth wall in this, which I really love that in books. And when I'm writing, I like to do that, like the little like asides to be like, oh, hey, here's what I'm really thinking. Because I think it gives the characters so much more personality. So I'm interested in reading this, and maybe does this have an even number of pages perhaps that I could delve into? I know this is the first in a series too. It is an even number of pages, so there you go. It fits that challenge. But this is the first in at least a duology. I don't know if it's a full-on trilogy or series. However, I want the dark, spooky fall vibes. And that's what I'm going to get with this book. Next, we have a book that has been so hyped, and that is The Ravens, which is all about a sorority that is actually more of a coven. And I believe it's set in the South. And all the girls who are in the sorority, like their moms were in the sorority before them, and their grandmothers were in the sorority before them, and so on and so forth. But they're called the Ravens, I believe. And it's basically like witches, rich people drama, sorority drama, all kinds of good, like all the tropes that are really hot right now. A lot of people have loved this book. And I know they're fighting, I don't know if they're fighting another covenant, or I know there's like fighting to be the president, but then someone finds out that they're actually a coven, and so they gotta protect themselves, all that jazz. It's gonna be great. I'm excited to read it. And then one of my most anticipated books that I, for some reason, just did not read. I bought it kind of in the midst of my frenzied buying of so many books. And this one got mixed reviews, but I know all 3 books are out for it. I don't know if there's a 4th one coming out. However, it's Serpent and Dove. This is a chunker of a book, and I think maybe that's what put me off to it, because I was reading all kinds of big chunky fantasies. However, it's Witchy reading month, and this is about a girl who is a witch who gets married to a witch hunter by some sort of like circumstance that happens. I don't know if they're caught like in a situation that seems like one thing but's really another, so then they have to get married because it's back in the day. I do know that a bunch of the characters who are in this are kind of dumb, and she's able to kind of outwit and make them realize that, or make them think she's not a witch, but she definitely is. However, I'm just excited to read this. It is such a big book and has had so many things written about it. Like, is this necessary? But there's been so many people have talked about it, and honestly, I'm just excited to read it and see if I really truly love it, which I think I will, because a lot of books that people don't like for whatever reasons I end up liking. So we're gonna give this a go. This is also on Hoopla on audio for free through your library if you want it. And then 2 random kind of throw in books that I have here are let me grab it here, The Tale of Despereaux, which is a kid's book, and it has pictures and everything. I got this book a long time ago as a gift, and honestly never read it. Saw the movie when I was a kid. Couldn't tell you a single thing about it other than that it's about a mouse. And yeah, I've had it in my stacks forever and figure it's about time I probably get through it. And I mean, to be honest, it shouldn't take me more than an hour or 2. Because there's a lot of pictures and stuff in here too. So we'll see how I feel about it, how I love it. I'll keep it either way because it is signed by I think my aunt gave this to me. I don't know. It's really hard to read the writing. Yeah, it's from my aunt and my cousin. So I will keep it either way. And plus I love the aesthetic and the like rippy edges. Finally, I'm going to try to get to a book that I've been trying to get to for a couple months now, and that is Two Truths and a Lie by Shepard. It's the next one in the Lion Game series. I'm trying to get through the Lion Game series this year. This will be book 3 of 6, so I will be halfway through if I get to this one, which would be great. I'm trying to get it on this shelf, get it out of the way, get it out of my brain. So yeah, I'm trying to decide if I'm going to end up keeping the Lion Game series or if I'm going to pass it on. And basically, the rating of this book will determine that. I don't think I would ever read it again, but who knows. So this is the last book that is going to be on my April TBR. And then, of course, whatever carries over from July. Now, July, as it stands, as I'm filming this, because it's still July when I'm filming this, I have 11 books that I have finished. So trying to do that again in August could happen. I do have a road trip that's happening in August. So I have a lot of time in the car, and we're gonna see what happens. But the goal is getting there. I am getting through my stacks of books, and hopefully you guys are too. And if you're not, it's okay. Reading's not a competition. It's just for fun. So that is it for me. I hope you guys have a good day and a good reading month, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.